अनंत कोटि वैष्णव समाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, ग्रंथ जय, साई भक्त प्रेमानंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Together. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Canto 4, chapter 21, text 7. Saivamadanyanabaddhacheshtitah karmani bhuyamsi mahan mahattamah kurvan kurvan shashavani mandanam yashah piyutam nidhaya ruruhe param padam. Word to word meaning. Saha King Prithu, evam thus, Adini from the very beginning, Anavadya magnanimous, Cheshtitaha performing various works, Karmani work, Hoyamsi repeatedly, Mahan great, Mahattama greater than the greatest, Purvan performing, Shashash ruled, Avani Mandalam, the surface of the earth, Yashaha reputation, Sfitam widespread, Nidhaya achieving, Aruruhe was elevated, Parampadam to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: King Prithu was greater than the greatest soul and was therefore worshipable by everyone. He performed many glorious activities in ruling over the surface of the world and was always magnanimous. After achieving such great success and a reputation which spread throughout the universe, he at last obtained the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But a responsible king or chief executive has many responsible duties to attend to in ruling over the citizens. The most important duty of the monarch or the government is to perform various sacrifices as enjoined in the Vedic literatures. Next duty of the king is to see that every citizen executes the prescribed duties for his particular community. It is the king's duty to see that everyone perfectly executes the duties prescribed for the Varna and Ashrama division of society. Besides that, as exemplified by King Prithu, he must develop the earth for the greatest possible production of food grains. There are different types of great personalities. Some are positive great personalities, some comparative, and some superlative. But King Prithu exceeded all of them. He is therefore described as Mahattama, greater than the greatest. Maharaj Prithu was a Kshatriya and he discharged his Kshatriya duties perfectly. Similarly, Brahmanas, Vaishyas, and Shudras can discharge their respective duties perfectly, and thus, at the ultimate end of life, be promoted to the transcendental world, which is called Parampadam. Parampadam or the Vaikuntha planets can be achieved only by the devotional service. The impersonal Brahman region is also called Parampadam, but unless one is attached to the personality of Godhead, one must again fall down to the material world from the impersonal Parampadam situation. It is said, therefore, Arhuya Krichena Parampadam Tataha. Impersonalists endeavor very strenuously achieve the Parampadam or impersonal Brahmajyoti. But unfortunately, being bereft of a relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they come down again to the material world. If one flies in outer space, he can go very high up, but unless he reaches a planet, he must come down again to Earth. Similarly, because the impersonalists who reach the Parampadam of the impersonal Brahmajyoti do not enter into the Vaikuntha planets, they come down again to this material world and are given shelter in one of the material planets, although they may attain Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. All such planets are situated in the material world. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णभ्रष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Yes. Here. This side. Yeah, this here. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So this is, first of all, I am grateful to be able to have another opportunity to serve Srimad Bhagavatam by glorifying the Supreme Lord and his devotees. So I'm grateful to Shri Radha Giridhari, Nitai Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Srila Prabhupada for this opportunity. Here it is being described the story of the pastime of Prithu Maharaj has been going on. There are two very big episodes in Srimad Bhagavatam. The one, as we know, is that of Prahlad Maharaj, which spans almost entire 7th canto. And the another episode, which is actually chapter-wise, this is the biggest. The episode of Prithu Maharaj, his story, spans 11 chapters of the 4th canto. So therefore, if we see number of chapters dedicated to any particular pastime, Prithu Maharaj's story is the longest chapter-wise in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The activities of Prithu Maharaj, there is a lot for us to learn from him. The very word Prithu Maharaj, what is the meaning of the word Prithu? It's already explained here when Prithu Maharaj was born. Prithu means Prithu Shravan, meaning one who has widespread fame. When he was born only, he was named Prithu, predicting his future, that he will have widespread fame. He'll be known for his great qualities, for his great achievements. So we will highlight few of the qualities of Prithu Maharaj. When we speak of the great qualities of these great devotees of the Lord, he is himself the Lord and also the devotee. Prithu Maharaj has been glorified as the Supreme Lord himself, but he here in this verse says that he attained Param Padam. He attained the abode of the Supreme Lord. So Prithu Maharaj is Supreme Lord himself and also his devotee. So this is quite typical, like we know Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Lord and he is in the mood of a devotee. This principle actually applies to all the expansion of Krishna. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, all the expansions of Krishna, they are Krishna's amshas or kalas. There is part or there is portion or portion of the portion. These two terms have been used. Ete chamsha kalaha pumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So Krishna is the origin of all the amshas or the kalas, the portion or the portion of portions. All his expansions, all Krishna's expansions, they are the Supreme Lord, being Vishnu Tattva, but simultaneously they have a mood of the devotee or they have the mood of devotion towards Krishna. This is there in all the expansions. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami elaborates. He says the very first expansion of Krishna is Lord Balram. And we see in Lord Balram, there is the mood of servitude. He also likes to serve Krishna. In fact, he serves Krishna in all the 5 mellows. So from Balram, further, there is expansion Lord Narayan. And there are Chaturvyuhas in the spiritual sky. There are 3 Vishnus, as we know, Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Shirodakshaya Vishnu. There is Lord Anantashesha. All these expansions, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami puts one term for them. He says, all the expansions of Krishna, they are Bhakta Avatar. They are the Supreme Lord, but they are also simultaneously devotees. They have a mood of devotion towards Krishna, who is their origin. So this is a very amazing concept. Not just we who are part and parcel of Krishna as a living entity are supposed to have devotion to the Supreme Lord. All the expansions of Krishna, the Vishnu Tattvas, they relish the mood of devotion more than the mood of being the Supreme Lord. This becomes evident in the pastime where Mahavishnu himself steals the sons of Brahmana from Dwarka. So he was stealing the sons so that, and he kind of, Mahavishnu created a situation where Arjuna, he became very agitated. He took a vow, I'll protect the son. If I cannot, then I'll enter fire and so on. And finally, Lord Krishna had to intervene and he had to take Arjuna to the abode of Mahavishnu, whose main purpose behind enacting all this pastime, making the newborn babies of the Brahmana in Dwarka die again and again, was so that Mahavishnu can have darshan of Krishna. That was the only purpose. Because even Lord Mahavishnu, who is the creator of unlimited universes, is the Supreme Lord. Yasyaika nishvasita kalamathavalambya jivanti loma vilaja jagadandanatha. So, unlimited universes come from Mahavishnu in one exhalation and they all enter within him. Who can understand the power of Mahavishnu? Prabhupada would say, if we ever become proud, if pride any time comes to our heart and we feel that we have done something great, then we should think about Mahavishnu. What is the greatness of Mahavishnu? He creates millions and millions of universes from his body within one exhalation. And we should feel humble. So that Mahavishnu, he wanted to have the darshan of Krishna. He has also a feeling of devotion towards Krishna. Same Mahavishnu, when he comes in the pastime of Lord Chaitanya, he comes as Advaitacharya. And Advaitacharya's main ecstasy, Advaitacharya's main joy is to consider himself as a servant of Lord Chaitanya. So suddenly Advaitacharya, uh, while thinking that I am the servant of Lord Chaitanya, I am the servant of Lord Chaitanya, this contemplation within the heart gives such joy to Advaitacharya that he completely forgets that he is the Supreme Lord, he is the Mahavishnu, he is the creator of millions of universes. So Advaitacharya rejoices, he dances, thinking, I am the servant of Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Radha Samui, Chaitanya Radhas, Chaitanya Radha Samui, Dharadase Radhas. I am the servant of Lord Chaitanya, I am the servant of Lord Chaitanya, I am the servant of Lord Chaitanya. I am the servant of a servant of a servant. This, this feeling is the source of unlimited joy. And Prabhupada writes very strikingly in this section where Advaitacharya considers himself to be the servant of Lord. Prabhupada says, unless one is invigorated with this mood of being a servant, one cannot understand or appreciate the mellows of bhakti. So we all know, we are performing devotional service. And devotional service, as Rupa Goswami has written, Bhakti Ras Amrit Sindhu. It is filled with unlimited nectar. It's an ocean of nectar. And there are different waves in this ocean. But we will not be able to understand a particle of drop of this nectar unless, Prabhupada says, unless we really understand and appreciate this mood of being a servant of the Lord. Or Prabhupada says, unless we are invigorated with this mood of being a servant, till that time we will not be able to understand the mellows of devotional service to the Krishna. So herein we see Prithu Maharaj, he is the Shaktavesh avatar of the Lord. He has been glorified as the Supreme Lord himself, but he at last obtained the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He obtained his shelter. He said that he is a Supreme Lord, but then he is also a devotee. Of course, Prithu Maharaj is not the Vishnu Tattva, he is a Shaktavesh avatar of the Lord. But nonetheless, he has been invested with the special Shakti, which is called Bhupalan Shakti, maintaining the population, maintaining the planet Earth. That is the special power invested in Prithu Maharaj. So in that way, he has been counted as one of the avatars, Shaktavesh avatars of the Lord. But more than that, Prithu Maharaj himself, we see that he relishes a mood of devotion toward the Supreme Lord. Another very important term which is used in this word is Prithu Maharaj was a very magnanimous personality. So we'll just discuss briefly about one of his great magnanimous quality. What makes Prithu Maharaj magnanimous? One quality that we want to focus upon in today's discussion is Prithu Maharaj became greatly magnanimous by not desiring to take any credit for his activities and rather giving all the credit to the Supreme Lord, to the Vaishnavas. We know that how when the the professional reciters they all came and they were glorifying Prithu Maharaj activities, he immediately forbade them. Immediately forbade them. He didn't want to take any credit for his activities. Actually, uh, that is a great magnanimity. That is a great broad-mindedness. Only a petty-minded person would want to take credit for what one does. So we should know that whatever we are able to do in the path of spiritual life, it's all by the mercy of our teachers, mercy of Srila Prabhupada, mercy of the Supreme Lord. And thus reminding ourselves, we should uh, pass all the credit to Supreme Lord Hari, to our Guru, and to the Vaishnavas. And that makes a person very magnanimous. Prithu Maharaj has beautifully demonstrated that quality, how he doesn't want any credit, although he has been described as greater than the greatest, Mahan Mahattama, greater than the greatest, but Prithu Maharaj doesn't want any credit for his activities. Therefore, he is a great soul, very magnanimous in his activities, very magnanimous in his thought process. I would like to narrate uh, a story from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Before I narrate that story, there is one statement of Prithu Maharaj which I always like to meditate upon. Prithu Maharaj says, "What am I made up of? What is my life made up of?" Prithu Maharaj says, "Sadhu uchishtam hime sarvam." My life is made up of remnants of the devotees of the Lord, the saintly people. How is life made up of that my life is nothing but the remnants. Remnants here we can take it as a mercy. I am nothing. The great emperor of the whole planet is saying, my existence is nothing but mercy of the saintly people, mercy of the great souls. I am made up of the mercy of the devotees. This is a statement of Prithu Maharaj. This is his thinking. I am made up of devotees' mercy. Sadhu uchishtam hime sarvam. The saintly people, they churned the body of my father Vena and they brought me out. My existence has been made possible by the mercy of saintly people. Then they are the one who enthroned me on the throne. So they are the one who has enthroned me as a king. They're the one who have made my existence possible. And by their mercy alone and under their guidance alone am I ruling. Therefore, I am nothing. Absolutely. I am nothing but just the mercy of the saintly people. And therefore, with this understanding, he offers back the entire kingdom to the four Kumaras. The four Kumaras will appear to him and he offers the whole kingdom back to them. Thus, in this way, Prithu Maharaj has maintained a very sweet mood. So we should also similarly meditate that I do not know anything about Krishna Bhakti, about Krishna consciousness. Our spiritual life is simply made up of the mercy of the devotees. The devotees who have told us about Krishna. They brought us to the lotus feet of Prabhupada. The devotees who have brought us to the lotus feet of Gaur Nitai, lotus feet of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Radha Giridhari. We were in total ignorance. So therefore, what Prithu Maharaj has said, it's a beautiful meditation for all of us. Sadhu Uchishtam Hime Sarvam. We are simply made up of the mercy of the devotees of the Lord. So as I said, I will just briefly like to narrate one story from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which shows that the nature of all the great souls is they do not want to take any credit for their activities and give all the credit to the Supreme Lord, to one's Guru and to the Vaishnavas. There is a devotee of the name Pradyumna Mishra. He approaches Lord Chaitanya and he says, "My Lord, I desire to hear Krishna Katha. I want to hear about Krishna." Lord Chaitanya says, "Prabhu kahe Krishna Katha, ami nahi jani, sabe Ramanand jane, thara mukhe shuni." Lord Chaitanya says, "Well, you want to hear about Krishna? I do not know about Krishna. Even when I want to hear about Krishna, I approach Ramanand Rai." And Lord Chaitanya tells him, "Bhagya tomar Krishna Katha, shunite hai man, Ramanand Pashayai Karaha Shravan." Oh, how first Lord Chaitanya also congratulates him. He says, "It is so glorious that you want to hear about Krishna. Bhagya tomar Krishna Katha shunite hai man." It is your great fortune that you have developed a desire to hear about Krishna. Because it is very rare. There are countless living entities. It is very rare for even amongst devotees, I would say, what to speak of countless living entities. Among the countless living entities, the human form is very rare. Among the humans, the civilized humans are so rare. Those who are civilized, mostly they are ritualistic. Those who take up to Krishna consciousness are so rare. Even those who take up to Krishna consciousness, it's very rare to find someone who has attraction to hear about Krishna, a natural inclination. Parikshit Maharaj had that inclination, and Shukdev Goswami has glorified Parikshit Maharaj again like greater than the greatest. And Prabhupada says, yes, Toya Bhagavat Uttama, you are the best among the pure devotees. Why? Because you have attraction or inclination to hear about Krishna. So attraction to hear about Krishna is not an easy accomplishment even for devotees. Only by the mercy of the pure devotees, when we serve them, when we serve their instructions, can we awaken our inclination, attraction to hear about Krishna. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya, when he hears that here is a soul, or here is a person, Pradyumna Mishra, he wants to hear about Krishna, he says, "You are so fortunate. Indeed, anyone who has even slightest desire, oh yes, I want to hear about Krishna. Even a person who has slightest desire to hear about Krishna, that person is very fortunate." Therefore, Lord Chaitanya tells him, "It is your great fortune, you want to hear about Krishna, now please go and hear from Ramanand Rai." Lord Chaitanya sends him to Ramanand Rai. Ramanand Rai was busy initially and he could not see Pradyumna Mishra. The day passed, Pradyumna Mishra returned and he told Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya said, "Oh, you got a little late in going over there. Tomorrow morning, you go early before he leaves. Tomorrow morning, go early and you tell him that I have sent you. And Ramanand Rai will be very happy to share Krishna Katha." So Lord Chaitanya sent Pradyumna Mishra second time, go to Ramanand Rai, hear about Krishna. And second day Pradyumna Mishra went and he was successful in hearing talks of Krishna from Ramanand Rai. And the whole day passed. They started in the morning, around 9:30, 10 a.m. They started Krishna Katha. And till 5:30, non-stop, 7-8 hours, they were just discussing Krishna Katha. And both of them did not realize how the day passed. The servant of Ramanand Rai had to intervene and say, the day has passed. Now you both can do your evening duties, take bath, take prasadam. So the Katha was interrupted by Ramanand Rai's servant. And when it was interrupted, Pradyumna Mishra, who was sent by Lord Chaitanya, he begins to dance. Then and there only, as soon as Krishna Katha ended, he began to dance. While dancing and dancing, he came to the presence of Lord Chaitanya. And he said, my Lord, you have not just made my day, you have made my life. I have never heard such beautiful Krishna Katha from anyone. Ramanand Rai is not an ordinary human being. He is Krishna Rasmay. His body is composed of the mellows of love for Krishna. What a Krishna Katha he has spoken. My soul has been deeply nourished by his talks. And he keeps glorifying. And Lord Chaitanya became so happy to hear the glories of Ramanand Rai. And then Pradyumna Mishra said, Ramanand Rai has told me the secret, how he could speak such a Krishna Katha. Lord Chaitanya said, what is the secret? He said, Ramanand Rai has told me that I am not the speaker of Krishna Katha. Lord Chaitanya himself is speaking Krishna Katha through my mouth. Just like a veena player vibrates any stringed instrument. Veena is one of the famous string instrument which Narad Muni also plays. Narad Muni Vajay Veena. So just like a player plays the veena, the stringed instrument, the instrument cannot vibrate independently. It vibrates as per the desire of the player. Similarly, whatever I am speaking, I am being made to speak by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Therefore, I am not the speaker of Krishna Katha, Ramanand Rai told Pradyumna Mishra. And when Lord Chaitanya heard that, he said, Mahanubhavera chittera svabhava ei hoy. He said, Mahanubhavera, those were great souls, like here Prithu Maharaj has been described as a great soul. It is the nature of the great soul that they do not take credit for their own activities and they pass all the credits to someone else. Lord Chaitanya glorifies Ramanand Rai as that another great soul who, though composed of the mellows of love for Krishna, doesn't take any credit for speaking that Krishna Katha to Pradyumna Mishra. Similarly, we see in the life of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, though he had hundreds and thousands of disciples, he would say, I have not made any disciples. All my disciples are like my gurus. I'm learning from them. I'm learning from them. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada would say, my spiritual master has sent all of you to his disciples, he would say, to assist me in his mission. So, and I'm simply a wooden doll. Prabhupada written in his bhajan also. So we see this very sweet mood of wanting to serve the Lord, wanting to glorify the Lord, but not at all wanting to take any credit for it. This is the great magnanimous thinking which has been demonstrated by Prithu Maharaj, by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, by Srila Prabhupada and all our great acharyas. Jai Shri Prithu Maharaj ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Grateful for this opportunity to glorify Prithu Maharaj, to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam, glorify Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.